Well, some of you might have seen this video already, and I have to redo it because, obviously, as some people in the comments were saying, the mic was not working properly. But that's okay, because there is obviously a large update that has occurred from the topic that I was discussing yesterday. Basically having to do with the Game of Thrones spoilers that have been coming out lately, in terms of leaked scripts, leaked plots, and leaked episodes. Just today, I wake up, and one of my friends has texted me and said, question mark, the episode's up already. And they had a link to where I guess you could watch it. It was a fake link, but yeah. So apparently, HBO Spain fucked up and put this episode up. It was immediately taken down, but guess what? Once it's on the internet, it's out there for everyone. And yeah. So the savages on YouTube who like to get YouTube views off of this stuff have already uploaded lots of clips. There's already articles about it, but obviously the mainstream sites are trying to avoid that this even happened. There's more just news online that this has happened, and I don't think there are many links to the full episode, but there are obviously YouTube clips, so if you search around for Game of Thrones stuff beforehand, for anything really Game of Thrones related, it might come up in the related search bar. It's not like it's an unlisted YouTube video, it's public. So, I don't know, man, it's... You know, and I talked at length about this yesterday, about my opinion on spoilers. I have another video on my YouTube channel from months ago where I talk about the Spoiling Dead. That is a specific group that releases spoilers for the Walking Dead TV show. And I went on a rant about them, about how they actually go to the film sets of The Walking Dead in Georgia, and they try to get pictures of the cast, pictures of stuntmen, pictures of things that are happening in the episode. Like there's they posted something the other day where there was like an explosion or something going off or whatever, and just little small things. I remember last year when there was the cliffhanger death with Negan, they were trying to figure out which cast members weren't on set for certain episodes, so that way they could deduce which actors were not around, and therefore who had been killed, because obviously if they only filmed for the first episode of the season and didn't film for any more, that's a pretty big indication of what their fate is going forward. Yeah, so dirty stuff, and again, I think it's a slap in the face to anyone who's involved with the artistic process of the show. And it's unfair, because if you're a director, a writer, producer, an actor, stuntman, cast, costume, artist, whatever, there's so many different roles, so many different people who are employed and paid a wage, just like if you're old enough to have a job and go to that job 9 to 5 or whatever hours you work, you have to respect that everyone who's making this show is doing the same thing. Okay, like I know the show for people is a personal experience. They love to get into the characters and they love to watch it, binge watch it, however you watch it. But to a greater degree, again, this is part of people's livelihoods. And I was thankful that episode 4 of season, because there was another episode that leaked. So far 2 episodes have leaked. So episode 4 leaked because some Indian streaming site put it up by accident. And now the same thing has happened with a Spanish site. So far 2 different international streaming sites, fucking Spain and India, have leaked 2 episodes of Game of Thrones. And to be fair, I would not be surprised if the final episode, episode 7, the finale, the 90-minute episode, the longest Game of Thrones has ever done, I would not be surprised if come this time next week, if I start seeing posts about there being spoiler stuff being released. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if there's a leak, and it's going to piss me the fuck off, because I've already been spoiled on some things from this season, and it's real. This is the first time this has ever happened with Game of Thrones. With season 6, it only happened at the very end when people were having all sorts of predictions with Cersei and the wildfire with the Sept of Baelor. There were more. It was more predictions though. There was really no episode leaks. It was more just predictions. People. There's another group called Watchers on the Wall, which is just like the Spoiling Dead, who try to go to film locations, and they tried to offer their 2 cents on what they thought was going to happen. And again, some things accurate, but it was nothing that was leaked. It wasn't like full-length plots that were leaked. And months ago, earlier, before the season ever started, there were big leaks on events that occurred in Game of Thrones. And having watched the first 5 episodes, and now the 6th episode, yes, I have watched the entirety of the penultimate episode of season 7, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But there has been so far all of the leaks were true. So from plot points that I've seen played out in these 5 episodes and now 6 episodes, they've been true. They've been accurate. And that's frustrating, because that means, first of all, people are assholes for leaking this stuff out. That's just a fact. And secondly, HBO, the company that is supposed to be managing this whole thing, they're not doing their jobs. Just plain and simple, they're not doing their jobs. They're not controlling the spread of information, okay? And again, yeah, once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. But how about you avoid the fucking episode or the script or whatever getting on the internet? Like, don't you hire interns or employees who are like security, electronic gatekeepers? Aren't there contracts you hammer out? Isn't there some type of monitoring? Company passwords, emails, like what? And I don't understand how a company lets this happen. Not only that, there's been a hack recently where these cocksuckers hacked HBO and were demanding all this money, or they'd release emails and episodes and all this shit. Apparently the other day the FBI arrested them, but it's frightening that this stuff can happen. I mean, HBO is a huge network, it's not just Game of Thrones. They've got, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I love watching that. Westworld, I talked about that a little bit. They had their first season last year, and it was, pretty fucking amazing show. They've had other shows like, Sopranos, and I'm trying to think what else HBO's got. I know they have a lot of other stuff. There's this comedy going on right now. I mean, HBO has a lot of content. It does a lot of things, home box office. That's what it stands for. I'm not sure if too many people know that, but that's what it stands for. And protect your home fucking box office is all I have to say. I don't understand how they keep letting this happen. They've allowed pirating to happen in the past, where Game of Thrones has notoriously been the most pirated show ever, and the CEO is just kind of like, well, people are going to do it, and if anything, it spreads the word about our show and gets the word out. Now, they can follow that up with the fact that the quality of their show is pushing forward with the ratings that they get. Apparently, the episode 4, which was leaked, the first leaked episode that came out before it was supposed to air, apparently it brought in like 11 million viewers from Nielsen ratings, which is higher, I guess the highest the show's ever had. And that's considering, people who pay HBO subscriptions to watch that as a paid service and not just do the pirate shit. And that, again, that's still impressive. So even with the leak, the point is, even with the leak, they still had impressive turnout. So, but it's annoying, because then that's a rationale for HBO to be like, well, we don't really see a problem. So, if we're still getting good ratings, why do we have to waste time and energy and money trying to put a lid on it? And I'm telling you now, it probably has, you could have had 12 million, 13 million. What if there were viewers who already watched the episode and don't want to watch it live because they already saw it and they might be busy, and they just, oh, well, now I don't have to tune in on Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Like, now I don't have to do that anymore because I already saw it. So it's still affecting your ratings, even if you are still bringing in impressive numbers. And for someone like myself who values the artistic process of a show like this, and I like to get behind the scenes, I like to know how it's made, character development, all those things that go into it, because for not people who don't really know, I am a writer. I'm trying to get a book published right now that's a young adult science fiction book. And it was funny. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was joking with me. He's like, "Yeah, what if your book became a TV series someday, and shit like this was happening?" I'd be like, "Well, I'd be pissed." First of all, I mean, I wouldn't be like George R. R. Martin and have the TV show dwarf the books that he's released. Because if you think about it, right now, The Winds of Winter, which has been in development hell, it's been edited and re-edited about 1,000 times by George R. R. Martin, and he keeps delaying it. That book covers the events of Season 6 of Game of Thrones, all right? Right now, with Season 7, that's covering the last book. And then Season 8's going to cover the other half of the last book. And then the show ends. So, George, you got like a year. Like a year at this. So, summer 2018. By the end of summer 2018, we will have the conclusion of Game of Thrones, the TV show. And people will know, like, the bittersweet ending that George R. R. Martin has said. And he will probably tell D&D, the creators of Game of Thrones, what he wants the ending to be. Because, he's put his input into this show. And they were only allowed to make the show with his permission. And so he's gonna the ending of the show is gonna spoil the ending of his books. If I was a reader of his books, I'd be pissed off, and I'd already be pissed off. How would you avoid these things? Like, if you haven't read, or if you're waiting for the next book of the installment, and you're seeing the plots of season 6 and season 7 unfold, you're gonna be like, well, great, things are kind of spoiled for me. I know that the books do things differently than the show. I know that Stannis Baratheon is still fucking alive in the books. And, that might change once Winds of Winter comes out and we read the full book and see what his fate is. But still, it's... I don't know. That's a different topic. But it's along the lines of spoiling content. And I'm a firm believer in enjoying content in its entirety. Having it unreleased, someone works on it, you don't get to view it until it's finished, and they decide the day that you get to see their finished product, and then they can unveil their creativity with the world, okay? HBO, all right, for episode 6 of Game of Thrones, HBO has said that Sunday, the 20th of August, is the day that people will relish in that entertainment and be able to see their creative work, all right? Not Wednesday the fucking 16th, okay? Because that's when this episode leaked. That's when I'm making this video. And I told you guys that today I viewed it. And you'll see my reaction video sitting in this chair viewing the episode right in that upper right-hand corner. Much like how I used to do some of my Walking Dead reactions, that's how I did the reaction for episode 6. Now, also because some of my siblings will once again be away this Sunday, so I knew that I might be a lone wolf doing the reaction, and rather than fuck around with my camera like I've done for the past 5 reactions, I was just going to say, you know what? I'm going to do this for, right on my computer here. Also, other reason I watched the episode early was because I don't want it spoiled. I don't want to be scrolling through YouTube or looking at comments on my videos and saying, people commenting, oh, did you see that, someone died or this happened or this. I don't want to see that. So now this forces my hand. So now I have to watch the fucking episode. So now when people try to spoil shit or I see stuff in YouTube related searches, I've already seen the episode, so no one's spoiling anything for me. So I didn't want to watch the episode early. I like to do my Sunday night at 9 o'clock. And you know what? I'm still going to tune in at Sunday night at 9 o'clock because I'm going to support the show. I'm going to support the show. I'm going to support the ratings. I'm going to support my HBO subscription. Also, there was no preview to the finale in the episode that I watched, so I'm going to get to see that. And the behind the scenes for how the episode was made and like inside the episode with the actors and the creators. I like to see all that stuff. So another reason for me to watch it. So there you go. All right, fuck it. I'm still gonna watch the episode even though I've already seen it. That's obviously not when I'll film the reaction. And that's another thing. I will only upload my reaction once the episode goes live. So I know 10 o'clock. As soon as 10 o'clock Eastern Standard hits, or whenever the episode ends, I will upload my reaction. It's already ready to go for YouTube, so I'll just upload it, and you guys will get to see what I thought about the episode. It was a good fucking episode. I'm not going to talk about it, obviously, because I would be a hypocrite, because I've said in this video that I hate people who spoil shit, who go out of their way to spoil shit, whether you're going to film locations or you're just posting shit behind a fucking keyboard like a coward. I hate it. I simply hate it. And if you're going to spread spoilers, even if you're going to be a dick and you're going to spread spoilers, do it in an appropriate way. I see people, again, this is how stuff gets spoiled for me. I see things on YouTube videos like, oh, you know, all in capital letters, you know, somebody dies, or this is when somebody gets saved in the last second. Like, hey, if you're going to spoil something that's not fucking released yet, how about you add some discretion? Meaning, you don't put it blatantly in the title of the video. How about you just say, you know, this is a scene from episode 6, 7, you know, spoilers, be warned, blah, blah, blah. So, only people who click through the video and start scrolling in comments and viewing the video, then they'll be the ones who are spoiled. So if some unlucky bastard is scrolling through and then they're just reading videos that they might want to see Game of Thrones related, maybe they want to see scenes from old episodes or behind the scenes or just actor stuff or whatever they're searching for Game of Thrones related, that way in YouTube's related search, when they're looking for other videos to watch, they don't have to fucking see something they didn't intend on seeing that's a spoiler. All right, I've seen this on Twitter too, I've seen this on YouTube, and I've seen a lot of people who have voiced being angry. It's not just me. And again, my only defense was to watch the episode early, okay? I was able to find a link, it was, you know, HD and blah, blah, blah. I think the pitch was, like, slightly off, but it still sounded like the same episode. But, again, I didn't want to do it. I think the last time I did that, I think 4 episodes of Game of Thrones got leaked for Season 5. So we're talking 2 years ago this happened, and at the time, I was still new. I was new to watching the show, so I didn't take it into consideration. Also, the scripts for that season hadn't really leaked, so I was like, oh, I just get to watch 4 episodes back to back. But now in the long term, considering the problem that Game of Thrones has had with leaks, this is the main reason it's frustrating me. Like, I don't understand why HBO has this fucking history. From the 4 episodes that got leaked in Season 5, to the scripts and the plot descriptions getting leaked for Season 7, to the 2 episodes for episode 4 and 6 getting leaked. It's ridiculous. And sorry, my nose is itching me like a motherfucker right now. I guess that's a sign of me ranting here, but I guess I'll sign off the video. I in my video that I uploaded just a few seconds ago that I just deleted, that you guys were probably commenting on, I showed some YouTube channels that I was angry with, that were trying to spoil shit. Because there were also some people who were claiming to have Season 8 spoilers. Like, oh, the scripts are done and, you know, now we can spoil that. It's like, I think that's bullshit. I think that's just fan fiction bullshit theories. But who knows? The Season 7 stuff that was posted early was true, so who's to say that this isn't? So it's just best for me to avoid this shit. And again, it's hard because I keep seeing videos that have titles where it tries to spoil stuff, and it's pissing me off. I'm like, it's ruining the newness of the show, just like my enjoyment of it. Like, it's just, I hate knowing about this stuff. Oh, and I'm really, you know, for me, obviously, I'm a bigger fan of The Walking Dead than I am Game of Thrones, just because I have a personal bias towards the show. I've been watching it for longer. They're both great shows, and they do drama in their own way differently, but I just have a personal preference towards Walking Dead. With the insane season that we're promised for Season 8 of The Walking Dead, and the 100th episode being the premiere, I am really gonna try and not fucking look at stuff. I'm gonna try to avoid the internet with, you know, and The Walking Dead has never had a problem with episodes leaking early, alright, thank God. For, you know, all 99 episodes that they've done, I don't think one episode has ever leaked. There's been plot leaks. Those spoiling dead cocksuckers always get behind the scenes information, and a few days before the episode comes out, they'll post like a plot outline, like so and so does this, and then this happens, and then this happens, and this person dies, and then this happens. Like, it's like, okay, and then I'll see it on comments for Facebook videos and all sorts of crap. So, and because I know the comic books of The Walking Dead, I somewhat know the general direction that they'll go for the show. I know that there's lots of different groups now in the show, and things are a bit different with how they've structured the plot, but I know the general direction. So that was the thing with Game of Thrones. Because they're past the books, anything they do in Game of Thrones is new. No one knows. And I think the main reason why people are trying to leak this shit, because George R.R. Martin hasn't written this content. This is all information that he's told D&D and the rest of the Game of Thrones production team. And so they're putting in the show. And it's a spoiler towards the book, but to leak stuff from the show is to also leak stuff from the book. It just leaks things from the world in general. So and I know a lot of people love their spoilers. I had a guy I read one of the comments before I deleted the most recent video. A guy who was defending the video vehemently. He's like, "Oh well, it's the best season ever because there's spoilers and I love it." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, I mean, look. The only viable reason I've seen people explain for wanting spoilers is, I remember one woman for The Walking Dead said, "Oh, well, I have extreme cases of anxiety, so therefore I like it when I know things ahead of time so that I don't have to go into the show and be afraid of someone dying," or almost in like a jump scare way. Like she wouldn't be able, to go to like a horror movie. She'd have to know exactly when the jump scares are and stuff like that. The unknown is the frightening thing, and I think for any entertainment, the unknown is the fun aspect, and that's why I don't like to know when I go into a TV show, which rhymed, but that's nice. But I don't like to know. I just don't. And the unknown is where the fun comes in, because you don't know, someone gonna die. Where's the plot gonna shift here and there? It's fun. It's fun to speculate and, consider all possibilities. But if you already go into the show knowing, then where's the fun? Like, you're like, okay, you're just expecting things to happen. You're like, okay, now I expect this character's going to do this. Okay, yep, they did. It's just, I don't know. It ruins it, for me, at least. And I don't, other than having some sort of medical issue and, anxiety, I don't see any excuse for seeing episodes early or leaking information to people. It's shitty, and it's just to get attention. Alright, let's be honest. People who have YouTube channels where they upload this shit, it's just so that they get attention. Like, oh, I got lots of subscribers and viewers and all this bullshit from uploading scenes, and because people are hungry for them, they come to my YouTube channel. And I'm telling you, folks, it's filth, okay? There's no quality in that content, alright? There's no creativity going into it. All you're doing is just re-uploading someone's work, okay? And I'll even admit, I know the reaction videos aren't the greatest for creative content that I do, but hey, I'm watching these shows. I like to watch them. I like to have commentary from me and my friends, and I like to add that, and I want to add my experiences. So I know I do the full episode reactions, but that's just how I do them. If anyone had a legal problem with that, which I've had some with AMC in the past with Walking Dead, I'll address them. It's fine, but that's how I upload my content. And again, don't like the spoilers, man. Hopefully this is the last time I have to make this video because my mic fucked up for the previous time. But it's fine for this one, and I guess we'll just sign off on that note. So thank you guys for watching and listening to my rant, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.